Oh yeah, I have no.
Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live that loud, that break in the mind. Can and the bold. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning, Fred. And good morning, everyone else. It's Ken and Ken in the morning. I'm Ken. That's Ken. We're Ken. One's in New York, one's in Florida, and we're both in cold weather.
I was gonna say, man, that sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm Ken. This is Ken, and we're Ken. We are not the same guy, man.
No, same name. That's about it. And I got my coffee this morning, so I don't know if I'm the video intro says I'm living the dream, but I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I
Oh.
Oh,
I got something to start your morning off beautifully with, buddy.
great.
Oh, you know when I phrase it like that, it's gonna be
Go
awesome.
ahead. Yeah.
Do you know who the latest Pro Bowl quarterback is?
I saw that, man. I acted. It was a Johnny posted it. Either Johnny posted it in our little. We have a little group of like a couple of us on Act that talk a little football. From a creative crew group. Johnny and Bogey, who's a golfer. Go figure with a name like Bogey. And I saw that this morning, and I'm just like, "You're kidding me, right?" And I was like, "Should I even look up if Caleb?" I don't even Caleb didn't even get named as an alternate. I'm like, "Let me see." Caleb's not in the Pro Bowl. I don't think Jordan Love's even is in the Pro Bowl.
Not this year.
But Shador Sanders is in the flag football game. Okay, make that make sense.
Hold on. It's way worse. The dude has more interceptions than touchdowns on the year, has an abysmal completion percentage. You want to tell me how any of that says, man, that guy should be in the Pro Bowl?
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's in the bottom quarter of his conference as a quarterback. He's a Pro Bowler. What did everyone else say? No. I mean, was Philip Rivers not available?
Oh my god! Thank you, Ken, because that even reminds me. The dumpster fire in Buffalo is a raging, nice and heavy. Philip Rivers has bowed out of the head coaching candidacy.
Yeah, I saw that too yesterday. They didn't say why.
It makes you think that they were kind of seriously considering him, and he said, "Nah." He said, "Nah, man. This was just to get interview experience."
And I think I think they kind of were, but like then you think of it like, dude's got a pretty cool life. He's like 35 minutes from me or so, and I've never been to one of his high school games, but because I don't really drive into Alabama much. I have to bring my passport. And, I don't like, Anywho, he's got a pretty sweet gig, man. It's not the money you get in the NFL for sure. It's high school, but man, you gotta think, he's got a pretty sweet little gig. What he's doing right now with the kids, and he's got money. But yeah, it's like how big of a dumpster fire is Buffalo when a guy who's only coaching experience is high school says, "Yeah, no, it's okay."
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Is Buffalo gonna end up being kind of like the fucking Jets? Because we can't forget. We can't forget that before Josh Allen
I can't
got
hear
there.
anything.
Well,
I don't know what's going on.
That's you, bud.
Go out and come back in.
You.
There
There
we
you
go. Okay.
All right, let's see if I can readjust. My back doesn't hurt as much. Oh my god, my lower back's been killing me the last couple days.
But let's
And
not
I'm getting
forget,
sick.
before Josh Allen got there, Buffalo was pretty much a perennial dumpster fire and a laughing stock of the league. They were running through quarterbacks like crazy too until they got Josh Allen. Makes you wonder, are they going to revert back to that now?
Well, I don't think they're gonna get rid of Josh Allen, so there's that.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying they're getting rid of Josh Allen. I'm just saying
Yeah,
it almost seems like even with him there, the team's just collapsing in on itself right now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's almost as bad as Shador Standard, Shador Shaduki. There we go. Shador Sanders getting into the Pro Bowl. I mean, at least when Mitch Trubisky got named as an alternate, he won the division. You know what I mean? I mean, you can at least make an argument for Mitch Trubisky in 2018. He won the division. He had a lot of touchdowns. You know, he was actually decent. He was actually pretty decently good. But Sanders, like, I don't understand how you make an argument for him being in the Pro Bowl this year. It's like me saying John Dorn's a diehard Bears fan. It just doesn't make sense.
Nope. I as soon as I saw that, like I had to actually check on it because I thought it was just satire. That somebody put it in the joke that he made the Pro Bowl. I'm like, oh haha, that's funny. And then I saw it again. I'm like, wait a minute. And this is a totally different post about it.
Yeah.
It and I look into it and he seriously
Geno
somehow got.
Smith would have been better than Shador Sanders.
I don't know about that.
No, you can at least make an argument for Geno Smith maybe better than you could Shador Sanders. That's just how bad it is. It is that bad that it would be debatable.
I'll give you that it's debatable. Hey Joe, who do you think should get the Pro Bowl, Geno or Shador?
Shador. Geno was that bad, dude. Like Shador, at least Shador didn't play all that much, you know? Like Geno was terrible. But I get what Ken's saying too. Like I was actually very surprised that Shador made it too. I was like, Shador? Like so basically everybody else must have said no.
That's the funny thing is that's exactly what Ken said too.
So
Everybody else was cleaning out their sock drawer that day.
yeah, I mean, come on. It's like
Oh,
look at-
so hey guys, I got a juicy one for you. So apparently, I read this yesterday. I don't know. It wasn't confirmed by any like super reputable source, but I read that the Vikings made a trade offer to the Bengals for Joe Burrow that was rejected.
I haven't seen that.
I have heard rumors of them wanting to offer a trade, but I hadn't heard that they actually did.
Yeah, so apparently, and again, take this with a grain of salt,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently they offered Jonathan Greenard 2 first-round picks and JJ McCarthy, and they were turned away.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I mean, that's because they offered JJ McCarthy.
I was gonna say I would have turned that down too.
Yeah,
So-
the sporting news had the Minnesota Vikings are reportedly preparing to trade for the Bengals. The Vikings are considering trading for Burrow along with JJ McCarthy, Jonathan Grenard, and 2 first-round picks. If the Bengals decline the offer, the Vikings might pursue Kirk Cousins. However, the Vikings are not currently rebuilding and are focused on getting back into contention. And it's all based on rumors. I mean, yeah. Supposedly, though, it was an insider that leaked this trade for Joe Burrow. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and by the way, look, here are the quarterbacks for the AFC. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Drake May, of course, in the Super Bowl. That's why Shaduki gets named. The guy we're talking about right now would have been a better choice. Joe Flacco, his backup, would have been a better choice.
Absolutely. I would have put Flacco in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I mean,
I mean, if you're talking about statistics wise, you might have had a better case even throwing Justin Fields in there, dude.
I'm saying, like, come on. Like, how much did Dion pay you guys to do this?
No, I'm being serious because look at Shadur's season stats and then look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields has to have at least twice as many touchdown passes as Shadur.
He's got a better touchdown to interception ratio, that's for sure. Uncle Rico had better stats. Yeah. Oh,
My
God, what does the NFL become? But, like, dude, I can't see, like, if Gennard spent a good portion of the season hurt this year, right? Like, so that's bad. JJ McCarthy sucks. Two first rounders. Well, they had a winning record, so they're mid. They're gonna be like, where are they drafting? Like 21 or 22, somewhere around there, 18 to 20.
Yeah, I think they're somewhere in like the mid to upper
Yes,
teens.
yeah,
So-
they didn't make the playoffs.
Yes, but they're in that back end of the didn't make the playoff because they have the winning record, right? So
So they're like probably around 16 or between 16 and
Something like-
18.
yeah,
because
somewhere
19
around there.
19 is where the playoffs start, I think.
Yeah, well, somewhere between 16 and 19. Same with the Lions. They're probably back.
Yeah,
to back.
They're 18.
Yeah, and the Lions are the Lions. The
17.
Lions were they 17? Yeah, they're one before.
Yep.
So I mean, you get a mid pick, and the second pick you're going to get for next year is going to suck because Burrow's going to make them better, and and they're already close to being a playoff team. So now you're drafting post 20. It's like, yeah, no, that's okay. No, thank you. I mean, Gennard, when he's healthy, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but
Actually, I read that trade was already proposed and that the Bengals declined it, but that the Bengals countered them. They wanted 3 first-round picks, Grenard and JJ McCarthy, and the Vikings said no, that it was too expensive. Which so in the subreddit last night that I was reading this on was crazy because like all these people were shitting on the Vikings organization like that's not too much. Like in what world is that too much?
I would have gladly gave
I would have.
that.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm a Raider fan right now. Three first-round picks, a defensive player, and a young quarterback. Here, how about I draft Mendoza for you? Give him to you. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
You can have anybody on the defense except Crosby.
and really, if you're the Vikings, I mean, look at you. Like I said, you had Gennard was out a bit, and you did okay without him, and you got some depth there already, and you're getting rid of McCarthy, and so you don't have a first-round pick for 3 years. Big deal. You've got Joe Burrow. You've got your franchise quarterback for the next 10, maybe not 10,
8
5 to 10.
5 to 10?
Somewhere between 5 to 10 years,
if he
depending
can
on
stay
Burrow's.
healthy.
No, the only that's what I was going to say, bro. That's the thing. Can Burrow stay healthy?
But the Vikings offensive line is not offensive line is not as bad as Cincinnati's, number one.
Yeah, but
Also,
would
you're
that be
going
so
from
Minnesota to make this trade for Burrow, and then he gets injured, he misses like 2/3 of the season again. That'd be so Minnesota.
Dude, but can you imagine like he goes from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson? Like, dude.
Well,
that's a
least
Jordan.
here.
I was going to say if Jordan Addison can stay on the roster and not suspended.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, that would.
Well,
And-
and they're going to lose Addison. They're probably going to lose Addison after next year because I don't know if they're going to have the money to sign him. They're coming up on some contract crunches here with some of these contracts they got there in Minnesota. Or I'm sorry, I got to say it right, Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know. Hope change special injured prone players to Paul.
I also got to say that as much as we've shown Quezzy like some respect around here, that Viking subreddit really does not like Quezzy. Especially, I think it was really exacerbated by Sam Darnold winning on Sunday. Like,
Well, like
there's
if
some
you
salty bitches in that subreddit. Let me
well,
tell
like,
you.
dude,
listen to
I
the
have seen
Holla Hour
Viking
guys.
fans crash out all over on pretty much every platform
I
after
mean, look
that
at if
win.
you look at the guys on our own network with Rob and those guys, we're on his X right now. Oh, I didn't add his X today. I forgot. My bad. Let me add that real quick. I knew I screwed something up this morning. But if you look at there we go. If you look at even the guys on Valhalla Hour are saying, sorry, Rob. I'm sick, man. Give me a break. Ricky Gervais 5 times. Okay. No, but I mean, if even those guys are a little upset with Quezzy because, like, it's not just a Sam Darnold thing. It's like, well, with Sam Darnold, you got nothing for him. Number one, you just let him walk out the door. Then you let Indiana Jones walk out the door. You got nothing for that when he left. And they were still inept in certain position groups they expected to be better at. Like, they're not mad about Grenard. I mean, they understand that. They're a little bit mad about JJ, even though they were all hype on JJ at the beginning of the year. But now they're mad at JJ because, well, he's injured a lot. And, well, he was injured a lot in college too. So, duh. So I mean, they're mad at him, yes, but they've also been praising him a little bit because of what he has been able to do with making this competitive roster, from the financial aspect, being able to have the spending money.
And you got a fan.
I
know.
see this.
Hey,
So
who
it's
wants to tell him that we don't get paid for this? We just do this because we like football. But Ken, we're going to give you a raise.
All right.
Hey, Ken, you're gonna go from making 0 to making 0. Okay.
Ooh, it's a hell of a raise.
Oh wait,
But-
we'll give you 1/1,000,000 of a cent per show. So maybe in 1,000,000 shows.
Wait,
you'll
I was gonna say that's already the rate we're getting anyway. It's bad when the way to get your money is through just nonsense Facebook posts versus us actually sitting here conversating, having real discussions on it.
It is an interesting
But
world.
dude, that Viking subreddit was a mess, dude. It was like Quezzy must die. That was like the vibe in there. It
oh,
was
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
they want him in. At least that section of Vikings fans wants him gone badly, dude.
It's not just them because let me tell you, I've heard it all freaking over.
You go from last year where they loved Quezzy because of the season they had. It's funny just what even in Chicago, like, oh, ownership must go. Remember, like last year, like Broski. Oh, they have to sell the team. The Bears ownership sells it. Like, dude, leave the ownership alone. They're not doing shit. Like, McCaskey's basically just playing cheerleader these days. And that's what he did all year. Now everyone's like, oh, we love the McCaskeys. They're great. Dude, for years, the McCaskeys must sell. Virginia's terrible. Oh, my God, her son's even worse. Blah, blah, blah. And this year, like, dude, Jordan McCaskey's a super cool dude, man. Look him on the side of the field cheering and taking care of players. I'm like, what else is new? I mean, that's what it's fans are funny like that. That's all I say. Why I make the argument. Ownership matters, but it doesn't matter. It just depends on the ownership. I know that sounds weird. If you were Jim Irsay, yeah, it matters because Jim Irsay was an owner when he was alive. He was knee deep in everything. Then you got some owners you like let the football people do football things. Now, where they mess up sometimes is how in hiring of those football people, they hire the wrong football people.
They hire the
owners
people
are gonna
they
do
like.
that. Yeah, I mean, the owners are going to do that. But when the Bears changed their operations on the operational level with Poles, specifically when Poles came in, McCaskey got out of the football business. Like, at first it was, Poles, you will just report to me because basically you didn't have a GM. Or you didn't have a president of operations who knew anything about football. You had a business guy who basically set up the initial Arlington Heights deal. Then he retired. They bring in Kevin Warren, and he's like a football guy. So then McCaskey said, hey, you no longer report to me, you report to Warren, which everyone in the media said, oh my God, Poles is mad. No, Poles got to actually report to a football guy. And then and McCaskey said, no, the only one who reports to me is Warren, and I really don't care about football stuff. I want to know about the business stuff. You guys handle football. I'm just going to watch games and enjoy. Right? And that's exactly what he's done. Oh, but ownership is bad. Ownership is bad. I mean, how long before we hear in Minneapolis, oh, ownership needs to sell the team because, We haven't won a Super Bowl ever, and come on, get off the ownership's dick. I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's true for most of these teams and these fan bases. There's
who's
a
done?
handful of owners you can make that argument where, hey, owner, shut up, go in your box, and watch the money come in.
You know who's actually done a phenomenal job as an ownership group of staying out of the football side of it is the Hunts in Kansas City.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, we don't care. Just let Andy Reid do his thing, and we'll just sit back and collect the trophies. Like,
No, wait, but there was a time period, though, before they went on.
oh yeah, Lamar Hunt was definitely involved, but
But they were
like
like, "Oh, the Hunts must sell." You know, it's like every fan base does this. If
Yeah.
it's not going well, you got to sell the team. Like selling the team automatically means you're going to be a good franchise. Hi, Washington Commanders. Okay. Oh, but then goes, oh yeah, but they sold the team. Then they went to the NFC Championship, and what they do last year. I mean,
Yeah.
and the ownership group had zero to do with that. Like they really did. Like
there's a good contingent of Raider fans that wish Mark would sell the team too.
yeah, what does he do wrong? He just got you a stadium. He brought in Tom Brady. Oh, that's terrible.
This is why I'm glad we don't have an owner and don't have to worry
No,
about
but you
hearing
guys
that
get-
shit.
But you guys get look at okay, so, but you're not out of that fray. I'm sorry, Ken, you're not because policy must go. Gutekunst must go. He's still here.
Oh no, we're talking about GMs. Rarely do you hear about the CEO get talked about for it. Towards the end of Murphy's stint, you were starting to hear it a little bit, but for the majority of it, you didn't hear.
Yeah, but
too much.
Ken also though for the overall, you guys have been the best of the worst for so long that you guys haven't had like a bunch of bad seasons like everyone else had. You've been a little blessed there, right? Yeah, exactly, Dorn. Some of these guys 2 years ago, oh, they're gonna sell the team. Now, of course, they love McCaskey. So I mean,
Yeah, John Dorn needs to sell the Packers, dude.
yeah, it's all Dorn's fault. Fucking Dorn.
Sell Dorn's share.
Okay, Dorn, sell it to me.
Yeah, but you know what's the problem with those Packer shares? They're non-transferable. So I mean,
Yes and no. There are ways you can transfer it, but it's very, very limited.
see,
It's like you have to
Every
die
way
and
we
pass
can
it on
do
to
it
your
is
kids.
yeah, Dorn
Damn
has
near.
to die, pretty much. And I don't want to kill Dorn off. I like Dorn. This isn't the Sopranos, buddy.
Dorn, you need to start checking your fucking ice shanty for extra holes now.
There's one share. We're gonna make Dorn disappear for his one share.
Come on, you think an icy lake is gonna take Dorn out, dude?
Yeah, really.
He's gonna fall in and come out stronger than ever and
Oh,
just
yeah.
fucking covered in cheese somehow.
Jesus. But I mean, I just get off ownership, man. Now it's funny though, because I wonder what Cincinnati's fan base's reaction to this trade proposal was. I'm sure it probably wasn't good.
I wouldn't assume so because
That would signal dismantling the team, and you just retained your coach. You're the only team in the North that retained their coach, and then you're going to trade away your only really, you
good
know,
player, but
well,
well,
not their only good
yeah,
player.
yeah. I was gonna say
But-
Jamar
Can I-
Chase and T Higgins kind of take
Can,
that.
can I
role, too.
play devil's advocate for a minute here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's so crazy for Cincinnati to trade Joe Burrow. Like, I get on the surface, it's absolutely nuts. You don't trade a franchise elite quarterback in their prime, but he's been injured for the last several seasons, right? Like, he has a huge contract number. You're never going to be able to fix that defense as long as you're paying him and Jamar Chase. You have a chance to sell high, low, because no matter where he goes, you're going to get 4 first-round picks for him, right? So next year's quarterback class is absolutely loaded, right? Like it's a good. I'm not saying it's ever a good time to sell an elite quarterback, but this is actually the best time if you're going to sell an elite quarterback. Because
No,
you
I
can
mean-
take all that draft capital into next year and go get your guy on a rookie contract. Like,
Shit.
Oh, yeah, that's it. You have
If I'm them, I'm not even going out and getting a quarterback this year. If I do that, I'm taking all those draft picks.
that's what I said for next year. For next year's
Oh,
draft class.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no, you go
totally-
get
Well, I
you
mean,
go
but
get
look
Joe
at though.
Flacco and you start Flacco for the whole season, and then you just wait till next year
Oh.
and you go up and get your guy.
Well, hold on though. I mean, JJ McCarthy is going to be on a rookie deal still for another 2 years at least. Okay, fine. Next year's draft pick for the Vikings is going to not put you in place to get a quarterback, which means you're going to have to basically, in a weird way, hope that you suck. And unfortunately, with Joe Flacco, you're not going to suck because you're still going to be competitive. And my God, if JJ McCarthy actually plays like some of the small, but still flashes he had, they all of a sudden become a middle of the road team. And guess what? They can't draft a quarterback they needed to replace Joe Burrow with.
I was going to say, if McCarthy shows those flashes, then you just keep McCarthy and you build around him since he's still on that rookie deal for a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but once again, you're doing it on a hope and a prayer versus I have the guy.
But I'm not just talking about trading him to Minnesota. I'm talking about trading Joe Burrow in general. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there are plenty of teams who, if you were to come out and say Joe Burrow is, we're taking calls about Joe Burrow,
Like, if you're
your
the
phone's going to be
Raiders-
ringing for the next couple days, man.
Like, if you're the Raiders, like, okay, basically it'd be Burrow for Mendoza and 2 more draft picks and who knows what other players. Like,
Sold. I'll give it to him right now. Like, as long as we can keep our mid or our second and beyond round draft picks, so we can fix our offensive line. Like, you give Joe Burrow half an offensive line, dude.
interesting. But you know
To
what's
me,
even
to
more
me, Joe Burrow is
interesting,
the
though?
best quarterback in the league.
Hold
I've
on.
been saying it. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. You know what's even more interesting than any of this, though, is the fact that, and we all glossed over this fact, if what Joe said is right, that there was a counter made to Minnesota, the fact that the Bengals are willing to engage and send a counter to Minnesota is actually more massive than anything else we've discussed. They're willing to sell him.
What it might mean is they realize that they screwed the pooch with all those big contracts they handed out to just a few guys and said, we got to blow this thing up to fix it.
Yeah.
And if we're going to do it, we might as well sell these high pieces when the value's through the fucking roof.
I mean, does that mean there's a fire sale?
No.
offensively?
Not to me. I think they want to keep Chase because Chase is still,
Trade Higgins?
I think they might want to try to keep Higgins too, like keep their receiving core intact. Because without Burrow, like, yeah, it's going to be rough this year. But if they can get a quarterback next year, they still have the firepower for him, and they can try to, with all that cap space that they're saving on the Burrow deal, because Burrow only has $170 million worth of guaranteed money left over 4 years. It's spread out over 4 years. That's actually a very manageable cap number for any team they trade him to. It's roughly about 38 million a year.
Well, I'm looking there over the cap.
Yeah, I would much rather, if I'm Cincinnati, move on from Jamar Chase too, just because that's another one that you would get multiple picks on. You keep Higgins in there because I think you can still build out a full wide receiver core with him as the one.
So check this out. For next season, I'm going to give you the top 4 contracts. Okay, for them. Burrow's cap number next year. These are the cap numbers. Burrow's $48 million. T. Higgins is 26.5. Jamar Chase is actually making less than T. Higgins on the cap. We'll call it 26.2. And Orlando Brown Jr. is making 22 mil on the cap. That's a cap. Now, Jamar Chase's base salary is $7 million more than T. Higgins. So that, don't get it twisted. It's just that T. Higgins has a higher cap number for whatever reason, bonuses, whatever. But Jamar Chase's guaranteed salary is $32.7 million, and T. Higgins is 10, and then Joe Burrow's guaranteed salary is 35.2.
See what I mean?
Yeah, and Hendrickson should be a free agent again unless they decide to double tag him.
Yeah, he's on a void year, but he counts on $6.5 million in cap right now, even though it's a void year. So, that's what I don't get. I don't know why they put these void years, because if the guy doesn't sign, I don't think it's dead cap, right? I mean, he's not signed. He's a free agent. So you don't even have to cut him. So the cut numbers don't even apply here. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Anywho,
So just think about that from the Bengals' perspective, though. Like, if you can take that $48 million from Burrow off your cap, Now you have 20, what is it, 26 and 26 from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right? That's 52. With that 48, that equals 100, right? So you now have 48 million that you could use to try to address some spots on that defense.
Well,
Plus you
they
draft
already have 46. They currently have 46.9 million, so 47 million in cap. And you figure the NFL's gonna give them another 20, so they've got 67 million in cap with 62 people signed to the active roster. So they're actually in pretty good shape roster. It's not like you got a lot of cheap contracts at the bottom here. So I mean, but
right. So
but I
if they were
mean,
if they were to trade Burrow, they could have potentially like 120 million in cap space.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
talking about you could build a whole defense with that, dude. Like, and then you just suffer through 1 year with Flacco, who played pretty well. Like, you might not, you're probably not going to win the Super Bowl, but you're not going to be a bottom five, probably not going to be a bottom five team either.
Restructuring. David says, "Oh, he's restructuring." So let me hit the restructuring tool here. So yeah, on Burrow you could restructure and save 19.2 million. On T. Higgins you could save 13.2 million. On Jamar you could save 13.3 million. And after that, smaller stuff. You got like BJ Hill, you can save 3.4. And that's it. Then you get a bunch of zeros in restructure. So they're kind of those are their only options. I mean, they're big options, obviously, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase.
That's still with the 47 million that they have. If you added that, that's like 95 in cap space.
Yeah. If you got rid of Burrow and replaced the 48 million with, say, even with a $9 million quarterback, or call it an $8 million quarterback, that they're at 86 million, and then you get the 20 from the NFL, you're at 106 million, and then if you free up another 26 million in restructures of Higgins and Chase, next thing you know, I mean, dude, you're talking, you got like 130, 140 million to play with. You could buy an offensive line
and a defense.
Yeah, or some pieces of defense that you need.
Some pieces to the defense at least. You could buy an entire offensive line and have a defense that's respectable.
I mean, that it does get interesting. Just but the fact though that they responded with a counter to Minnesota, though, Joe, tells me that we might not be completely off base here. And do you really need to get a quarterback as part of that trade, right? I mean, think about it. You're going to take in some cap because obviously, like, if they took Gennard, they're taking cap money with Gennard because Gennard's got a decent cap hit, right? He signed a nice free agent contract. So you're not saving all the 47 million, but you're saving a nice chunk of it. Maybe at least 27 million of it or so.
But just keep in mind, like, this wasn't like Sports Illustrated or some, like, a reputable source. I don't know if it's true, but like, there's a lot of rumors about it.
Sporting News, dude.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, yeah, allegedly they counter offered, which to me is huge. Like, I agree with you. I think that's the bigger news rather than the trade proposal. It's the counter offer that's the big news because it means there's somebody else will read that and they'll come in with a heavier offer, and who knows, man.
All right, let me go back. Let me see here. I guess I missed that part of the conversation. Okay, Seahawks going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, we know. Obviously, wouldn't it be respectful? So, but you know what, Dave? I don't think they care at that point. Like,
what do you mean with a bunch of second and third players?
If you didn't get a quarterback any quarterback at all in this trade, right? You're going to go with the old man for another year, right? But if they can shore up their offensive line and their defensive line with a trade that frees up with cap space, and you get to draft the quarterback a year later, I mean, I can see all the different scenarios here because what you could be saying is like, look, having Joe Burrow is great and all, but what good is it to have a stud quarterback if you've got nothing around him? And look at Joe Burrow is the guy who's got more 35+ point games than anyone in the NFL and lost. So what good is it doing them having Joe Burrow if he's put up 35 points and still losing games? I mean, the only other guy I know who did that kind of was Jay Cutler. he'd put up 35 and still lose. I mean, what good did the Bears have except for 2010 for having Jay Cutler? His best offensive season, the defense would give up the second Cutler would score him, the defense would give him up. So if you're Cincinnati, what good is having Joe Burrow if you still can't win games? And Joe Burrow is doing Joe Burrow things, and he's putting up tons of points, and he gets the fans excited, but you're still losing.
Mhm.
So I get that. So I mean, if you're gonna say, well, is it respectable to get second and third tier players? Might be better than what you've got in your roster currently.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
are we forgetting that the Bengals are currently fielding a defense with nothing but second and third tier players? Like, I mean, their defense was the worst in the league, or one of them, right? Like, I don't see, other than, again, selling a quarterback, an elite quarterback in his prime is not ideal, but it's, for me, it makes sense for the Bengals. Like,
well,
it makes sense for the Bengals, and it makes sense for Joe Burrow. Like, give Joe Burrow a chance to go somewhere where they have half an offensive line and see what happens,
Joe, where are the names or stud defensive players as Hendrickson won't allow? Well, I don't even know if Hendrickson's a stud defensive player after last season. He missed most of the year.
I mean, I didn't say that the Bengals had stud D players. I said they were trotting out third tier players right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is a chance with all the cap space. You have extra draft picks. You can go get your quarterback next year. Like, you use your cap space to address the defense and free agency. Maybe even some offensive linemen. Most likely some offensive linemen, right? Like,
Hey, Joe, hold on a second. Hey, Hawks Nation. Just so you know, JB is not actually on the show right now. We're on his YouTube page, but he is not on the show right now. His show, his Lions show, is on immediately after ours in about 23 minutes. Just so you know. Okay. Has Burrow been traded? Has Burrow been traded? No, he hasn't, Dave. That's why we're talking about, because the rumor came out that the Vikings offered the 2 first-round picks, Jonathan Grenard and J.J. McCarthy for him, and it was rejected. And then Joe said, hey, I found on the subreddit where it wasn't just that it was rejected, but they sent a counter offer for the same package plus an additional first-round pick. So basically, Cincinnati said, okay, Minnesota, you're almost there. Give us another first-rounder, and we're good. And then Minnesota said, nah. And so basically the subreddit's been ripping apart the Vikings for not doing it.
yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just Vikings fans in that Reddit either. Like, there was a bunch of other teams' fans who went into that subreddit just to say, like, what is Quezzy doing? Like, if you have the chance to make that trade, you make that trade. Like,
and I got to say this, Joe, everyone needs to send Joe some respect, because first off, he must be highly vaccinated to go into that cesspool that is Reddit. Because Reddit is a friggin' cesspool of I don't know what most times. The fact that Joe is
proudly
brave
pure blood
enough to battle the Reddit fray, yeah.
It is a liberal cesspool.
Oh,
But no, I am proudly pure blood. But no, dude, it's crazy. Like, I wouldn't see, David, that's the difference. I wouldn't be reluctant at all. If they want 3 first-round picks from the Raiders, I'll draft Mendoza for you and send him. We can do the trade on draft night. I'll draft Mendoza number 1. He's all yours.
I mean, like,
that takes care of your quarterback problem, right?
And
then you get 2 picks after that.
I can see why David's saying that, because you're like thinking like, well, the Bears didn't do anything crazy like that, and look what we've done. But that's a different scenario, because we traded a first-round pick, and that's what got us our wealth of goods, right? That's what got us a bunch of a lot of these guys that we love in this Bears roster are fruits of that trade. But like, if you'd have made that offer with, say, Justin Fields and 3 first-round picks, would the Bears be in the position they are if they had made a deal like that for a stud quarterback like Burrow back then? Would we be a playoff contender? So I get where David's coming from about being reluctant to give up so much. But I think Minnesota, though, dude, is a different scenario, because they're Super Bowl ready now, and they can afford to give up Grenard. They can afford to give up the draft picks. So yeah, for certain teams, I could see the reluctancy being real. But dude, if you're Minnesota, you're in the window now. You were 9-8 last year. Gennard missed a big chunk of the year, so you're not really going to miss him as much. The only problem for Minnesota, really, and it sounds like they didn't even care because they were willing to do this, right? They offered, so they had the salary cap situation figured if they made this trade, because part of it was get rid of Gennard, and then they do some restructures and whatnot. But I mean, they've got Jetta, they've got Addison, they still have Van Ginkel, they still have a good running game, they still have a good defense. Even without Gennard, they have a really good defense. If you win the Super Bowl next year, do you really care that you've given up 3 first-round picks if you won the Super Bowl?
No, because if you win the Super Bowl, that just bought. If you're Quezzy, that just bought you 5 years as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, but they're not. But Jetta and Addison weren't included in this trade, David. I mean, the idea for them is they're bringing Burrow in, keeping Jetta, keeping Addison, keeping everything else intact. The only player they're giving up that they would care about at that point is Jonathan Gennard, and even that Gennard missed a good quarter to half the season with injuries last year, and their defense. Their defense without Gennard is going to survive. I mean, they're still going to be a really good defense. So,
and you have a bevy of draft picks. You have your 2nd through 7th round draft picks to address your defense or whatever you want. Like, it doesn't make any sense for Quezzy not to make that trade. Even if they ask for the extra first, he should have given it up, dude.
I mean, and look, you're definitely in a position to win a ring. I mean, and you know what? That offensive line is better than the Bengals' offensive line
by a lot.
Oh no, they would definitely keep JJ, David, because that was part of the look at the trades out there. What they were going to trade is out there. Jetta was not a part of that trade. Now I could see the word David saying, yeah, but maybe they would have to trade Jetta because of the cap, and maybe they keep Addison. But I think if they're going to trade any one of their 2 wide receivers, they would trade Addison, right? Because he's cheap and easier to move, and then they can still get a lot for him. They could get first-round picks for him. It's easier for them to get first-round picks because the other teams have to sign the contract. They don't have to sign the contract for the big money and then have the other team deal with it. Now the other team can decide how they're going to deal with that big money contract, and i.e. how they're going to lay it out to fit their cap situation. So, okay, you're going, but Ken, they're still going to have to pay them big money. But yeah, the new team gets to control how that contract is structured to fit that team's needs versus Minnesota doing the contract that its needs. So it offers the gaining team a little bit more wiggle room in how to do it because they know they're going to have to pay the money anyways, right? Whether the Vikings did or not. I mean, yes, it is an extra headache because now I have to do the contract, but I get to tailor the contract to fit my team's needs and how the money is put where, how, and whatever. So but I don't think they don't have to trade Addison. He's still on a rookie deal.
Yeah, no, they don't. He wasn't part of the trade. It was J.J. McCarthy, Jonathan Greenard, and 3 first-round picks. Grenard and 3 first-round picks. Like, and see, here's the other thing is J.J. McCarthy. Like, I get that some Vikings fans are still high on him, but he hasn't really shown, in my opinion, number 1 that he can stay healthy, and number 2 that he's really all that great. You have a chance here, like if you're Quezzy, you have a chance to offload what turned out to be a meh quarterback pick, right? A first-round pick that didn't really pan out. You have a chance to offload it and look like a genius, right?
So money-wise, J.J. McCarthy saves you, we're going to call it $6 million comes off your books, right? Right now, they're negative 48. So $6 million comes off, but you're like, okay, so you still have $42 million incoming, right? But now Gennard, with that 42, he takes care of 22 of it. So now you're only 20 million extra. So now you're at like at 40 million, let's say, or 20 million over the cap. So now you're break even basically when the NFL gives you your 20. You're about break even. But if you restructure Jefferson, 18 million you can save. Darisaw can save you another 9. If you do Brian Murphy, you can save 11. Van Ginkel, you can restructure him, get 11. You could restructure Will Fries, who's a waste for them, $9 million. So they got some stuff they could do there.
And there's also one more thing they could do. They could, as soon as Joe Burrow gets in the building, they can offer him an extension and spread that cap hit out again even more.
So Jordan Addison right now, next year, he's only $4.3 million on the cap. That's obviously going to change. So they got to look to the future for money for him. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the price of giving up the three, in fact, giving up the 3 first-round draft picks helps you with your cap situation because your first-round picks are making $4, $5, $6 million a year as a first rounder in cap space. Remember, we say every year you got to save about $9 million for the cap. Most of that goes to your first rounder. So they don't have to worry about that. They're drafting mid in the second, so that guy's not going to make nearly, he's going to make maybe 2.2, 1.8, somewhere around there. So like they're saving themselves $4 or $5 million a year over the next 3 years. So over those next 3 years, they're saving an additional, we'll call
20 million?
we'll call it, we'll be concerned. We'll call it, we'll give a range.
15 to 18.
Yeah, somewhere 15 to 20, right? So, I mean, they're saving a good amount of cap money there. So that helps out too. We forget that piece of it. So those 3 first-round picks are going to let them maybe keep Addison instead of having to get rid of Addison. But yeah, your team is good enough. You had Joe Burrow, you're a legit Super Bowl contender like today.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sorry, if they make a trade for that, I mean, everyone in the North is going crap.
Yeah.
Everyone's going crap. Well, the Vikings are probably if they made that trade, we'd all be picking the Vikings to win the North next year.
Not just that, but I mean that's the one trade that they could make where the Vikings are like they automatically have the best quarterback in the division right now. Like I don't think anybody here going to say Goff or Love or Caleb Williams is better than Joe Burrow.
No, Joe Burrow is probably the one quarterback I would take over Love.
And yeah, Dave
Go ahead.
Dave makes a good point too. Then your second and third round picks better hit. And yeah, you're right, David. They better. Or at least, yeah, you better do better than average. I don't know if I would trade Caleb for Burrow. I don't know if I'd trade Love for Burrow, to be honest with you. I think in both cases, he makes your team better. I think in Love's case, I don't know how much more upside Love has compared to where he is now, but Caleb has enough upside where I'd be a little more hesitant. You know what I'm saying? With Love, I don't think he's hit his high ceiling yet, but I think there's less room for him to go north than there is Caleb, who's still a little bit earlier on. For me, it's hard for those teams, and I'll include Detroit. I think Detroit making that trade once again is hard too. Even though I think Goff, you're pretty much at peak for Goff. I don't know if he's got much more room in his ceiling. Would Goff trading Goff? What's they do in this kind of deal where they trade Goff? Would say for Burrow, does that make the Lions better? I think so. But with those 3 guys, I don't know. Ken, if you had to rank it, like, yeah, I would make the trade, I'd be a little more hesitant, or no, I might not. How would you rank that for the other 3 NFC North teams?
For Goff, I'd do that in a heartbeat too.
With the 3 okay, let me add this. And would you make any modifications? Because obviously you're getting a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. So if you were going to do it as one of the other North teams, what would the modifications to the trade be?
Yeah, if I'm the Lions, I think if I have to give up Goff for it, which would be a part of the deal, I would not want to give up a first. I would try to talk that into either a second or a third. And for Caleb, because he is so young, I'd say Caleb in a first might get it done. In a single first.
For Burrow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because of the upside with Caleb. But believe me, I think Caleb is nowhere near the level of quarterback Burrow is now. But there's the mystery box to where he did have a good season. So if you had to do this trade right now, this would be the time for the Bears to do it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that part of it, but I just think it would cost more than that. Even giving up Caleb, I think they would want probably 2 first-round picks in Caleb, or at least they would want a first and some additional.
That's
picks.
more what I'm thinking.
It's like a first and a second in Caleb. Like I could see that because like if they were, let's say the Raiders were going to make that trade, right? They're going to want Bowers, Crosby, and 2 first-round picks. You know?
I mean, like I agree with David though. I mean, and Ken kind of just alluded to it because of the upside of Caleb. I don't think anyone in Chicago would even consider it. It's a non-starter for Chicago,
and I don't think he should.
And like for Goff, I think you would listen to it depending on what the offers. I think you'd have to give like Goff a first and a second, and that'd be it, if that. I think for Love, it would be basically the same as Goff. Like Love this year's first and next year's second. Now, because Love still has some room to grow. I don't know if he's going to be Joe Burrow-esque. I think he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. But remember, he's entering year 7.
That's the thing that gives me a little bit of pause. The only thing that makes me would make me want to go from Love to Burrow is just because of how much I like Burrow and think that he is the best quarterback.
Well,
and I think if you have a chance to trade your quarterback for the best quarterback, it doesn't matter if he's number fucking 8, 5, or 3.
Well, here's the difference too between Love and Caleb. Love is coming into year 7. Caleb is coming into year 3. Remember, this is year 7 for Love. So people think, well, yeah, but this is only be his third. He only has 3 years as a starter, but he has 6 years of NFL service. So you got the age thing has got to be considered too, right? This is going to be year 7 technically for Love. Therefore, he's probably further along to his ceiling than say a guy like Caleb who just finished year 2. And look at the amount of growth between year 1 and year 2. You didn't see any growth like that with Love. Love's pretty much been at a high level from jump because he had the 3 years previous. Right, and then so the level.
I was gonna say he has made.
He has jumped, but not. It wasn't as dramatic as what Caleb jumped this year, right? Caleb was a dramatic jump. Love has made incremental jumps that were, while impressive, weren't massive jumps, right? And he didn't have to. He had 3 years sitting on the bench to learn the system. He came in a little bit ahead on the starting thing, but people forget this is concluded year 6 of Jordan Love. So he's a bit older, and then Goff is older than Love. So Goff is probably at peak right now. I don't see Goff having much higher of a ceiling than what he's already at.
No, I think we 100% know where Goff's ceiling is.
Yeah. I mean, Love, I don't know how close we are to it. I mean, how much more growth does Love have left in him? Like, how close is he to his ceiling after 6 years in the league?
Well, we also thought the same thing about Sam Darnold too. Now, granted, this is more of an extreme comparison here, but right. you thought you knew what Sam Darnold was in these past 2 years. He's coming out and showing.
Yeah, but that also had 3 different coaching changes.
Oh, yeah,
a bunch of location changes to go with it. I mean, Love is probably pretty close to his ceiling, honestly, and it's a pretty good ceiling. Don't get me wrong. Caleb. We don't know where his ceiling is yet. We'll see. So that's why I see the North. I mean, so the Vikings doing it though makes sense. The Bears not so much. The Packers only if it depends. And then with the Packers too, for me, like you can't give up any of your other weapons. You can't give up any of your defense. Oh, but wait, here's the thing: you don't have first round picks, so you can't do it anyways because you already gave those up. So the Packers are out.
Well, not just that, but I don't think that any of the North teams other than the Vikings actually make sense for what the Bengals are trying to do. The Bengals aren't looking to trade quarterback for quarterback, $50 million contract for $50 million contract. They're looking to get a guy on a rookie contract so that they can figure out their cap, add to their offensive line, build a defense.
Trade partner for them might be the Raiders.
I think the Raiders would be a good trading partner. I think Arizona could be a good trading partner. It's just, what are you going to take from them? What are they willing to give up?
And Dwayne, to answer your question, it's funny because we mentioned this about a month or 2 ago. We talked about this. So the last roster, it's usually with the CBA. So when they get their new CBA, and there is talk about them expanding the roster by a whole whopping 3 players, which is fine. You go to a 56-man roster. Some people said they should go to a 60-man roster. And we went through the history a couple months ago of the increments. You'd be surprised. It doesn't go up often. Every 10 to 15 years, they add a couple players, 2 to 3 players. I think the biggest jump we saw once was 5. So yeah, they probably should expand. We'll see what happens in the next CBA. They might expand another 2 or 3 players. Dave, I'm kind of with you. I kind of doubt he gets moved, but dude, the fact that they're willing to, and now we know a price. Someone could make. I mean, look, there's some teams like you're telling me Miami couldn't make that price,
Or the Jets. Like the Jets right now have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Like,
well, let's just get out of the AFC.
Hold on.
You don't want to trade it.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
you liked Joe Burrow. Why the fuck do you want to trade him to the Jets?
Well,
Hasn't
wait,
that man been beat up enough?
hey, look, I'm just gonna say this.
Part of the reality is they're not going to want to trade him with an AFC. So you can forget the Jets, you can forget the Dolphins, you can forget a couple of those teams, right? Those if you were desperate to trade him and you had nowhere else to go. Arizona, hey, here, take Kyler Murray, and
I don't think they want Kyler Murray because of the contract again.
but like Arizona, maybe they do draft picks and some other stuff and then cut Murray. It's a little trickier for them. But they're a possibility. Who else? Oh, what about a team 3 hours for me? The New Orleans Saints could make a deal.
I mean, their cap is a bit restrictive, and Suge has come on but we talked about this team the other day. What about the Carolina Panthers? We were talking about them with Josh Allen. What about Joe Burrow?
Yeah, the Panthers.
They have the draft capital. Bryce Young is still on a rookie contract.
I mean, okay, what about the Washington Commanders?
Oh, I don't think they get rid of Jaden Daniels after one injured season.
I don't think Cincinnati would trade for Jaden Daniels after the year he just had.
I would.
I was gonna say we've seen many quarterbacks get injured for a year.
That you're getting Joe Burrow 2.0 in terms of injury, and this was only year 2. So I think for Jaden Daniels, I'm sorry, I'm not going to call him a bust yet. We'll see how he does next year. But right now, he has one really good year and one year that he wishes he could forget. Right?
But it's an injury year. Though.
Yeah, it's an injury year. It's not like he played shit.
But still, you got to count it. You got to count it nonetheless.
You got to count it, but you got to count it in context too.
And look, and the thing was, it wasn't like it was one injury. It was multiple different injuries that ended up him out of games. So it's like, great. Now I got a shooting guard who can't stay healthy because once the leg's healthy, now it's the arm. Now it's this. Now it's the other. So he's got a risk concern with Jaden Daniels, a legit one at that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think the Commanders make that trade.
Joe Burrow might not be a bad idea. And look, if you're the Bengals, you're taking the risk of the injury, but you're now on a rookie contract for at least 2 more years, for 3 seasons of Jaden Daniels. So you got some time to find out, hey, is he going to be good? And if he sucks, cool, I'm just going to go draft the guy, right? I mean, and you got, by the way, 3 first-round draft picks to do it with. So, you're good. So Washington could be a destination, right? I mean, maybe they don't get the 3rd pick because it's Jaden Daniels versus J.J. McCarthy. Maybe it's Jaden +2 instead of J.J. +3. You see what I'm saying? So the cost might be less. I'm just trying to think of NFC teams that could be possible matches. Because if you're Cincinnati and you're going to trade him, you're doing it outside of the AFC. The Rams are a possibility if Stafford retires.
What about the Falcons?
Falcons, yeah. I mean, they got to deal with the Kirk Cousins issue, though, and then who you're sending back. They're not going to send Kirk Cousins.
No, they won't send Kirk Cousins, but I mean, I'll cut Kirk Cousins tomorrow if I get Joe Burrow, dude.
I was going to say Kirk Cousins, I think, doesn't even factor into that.
Well,
now, maybe Penix, but with him already being injured, I don't know if you could trade him.
Yeah, same argument with what you get with Jaden Daniels. So keep your eyes open, folks. We'll see how the rumor mill goes as we're starting to headlong into first free agency with this wonderful Super Bowl coming up that really most of the NFL could care less about, but we're going to keep up with that. You're going to see JB in less than a minute, about 28 seconds. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great day. Bear down.
Go Pack.